You knew this video was coming, right? Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room, Onision. You know, Onision, that one YouTuber who faked a miscarriage with his girlfriend and then used pictures of dead fetuses off Google to substantiate his claim. That guy. So a while back, he made a video about feminism and I disagreed with it heavily. It made a response video to him and I did make fun of him pretty heavily, but that's kind of what I do. And he recently made a response video back to me, and I definitely want to respond to that one on today.
For some time now, people have been demanding that I respond to this girl. She has an itty-bitty channel, so I didn't really want to pay her any attention.
Right, my itty-bitty channel, which is currently growing twice as fast as yours.
Her title is Onision Rages About Feminism and Looks Stupid. Before I get started actually responding to your video, I want to congratulate you on the fact that you're not forced to wear a burqa, thanks to, of course, feminists.
Yeah, but the thing is, this actually isn't Pakistan, and women in the Western world have never been forced to wear burqas, have never lived under Islamic law, so I don't really know what you mean. I mean, that statement would make just as much sense if I said, "Thank you, Del Taco, for saving me from having to wear a burqa."
Now prepare yourselves for statements from a woman clearly benefiting from many feminists who came before, shitting all over them.
I mean, with that logic, then black people should all be Republicans, right? Republicans did free the slaves after all. There's this thing called the past and this thing called the present. Kind of different. Hey Onision, so I heard you like being cucked.
What I actually enjoy is having sex with two amazing women, and I do so with zero remorse. Maybe do more research in the future, so you don't appear so ignorant.
So, in case you don't know who Onision is, he's basically what happens when you combine a Pokemon hentai fetish, a spare chromosome, and 20-something years of sexual repression.
So she just threw all Down syndrome people under the bus in order to take a jab at me. As for the alleged 20 years of sexual oppression, I lost my virginity at age 14.
Yeah, your uncle doesn't count.
And I've had sex literally thousands of times since then. Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality to men.
Congratulations, you read a dictionary definition. I can do that too.
Did you just use Urban Dictionary in response to me using an actual definition? Do you actually consider Urban Dictionary a credible source?
Sorry I didn't back up a joke about you being a cuck with a scholarly article. Guess I will next time.
You then go on to say,
"It's a very important distinction to make, and it's one that you could have easily made if your IQ was anywhere above -6.
Meanwhile, again, you seem to want to be perceived as a credible person, and yet you stated I have an IQ that doesn't exist. If you only took the time to Google it, you of course would have known that.
Okay, so let's talk about the fact that you are not addressing any of my points and instead you're trying to debunk jokes. I don't think a single person who watched that video, other than, you and your pubescent followers, really thought that me saying that you have an IQ of -6 meant you actually have an IQ of -6. What is humor? What are jokes?
Over 1,000 people voted. 69% of feminists believe that women are equal to men.
Whoa, look at Onision dropping truth bombs with a Twitter poll. Much science, very truth.
Since that time I made the video, the poll got over 12,000 votes. We like to invalidate things on Twitter when they don't agree with us, but you and I both know well, just because something's on Twitter doesn't mean it's invalid.
I mean, if your feminist poll is hard science, then this other one must be too, right? Can't argue with the Twitter poll.
That's how people continue living their lie. They're faced with facts, immediately state it's invalid, and they continue their narrow-minded mindset. Here's a normal, peaceful rally. Someone holding up a sign, "Stop killing women," which guess what? Many women are killed for doing things that men can do without being punished. One example is this man beating a woman for allegedly removing her burqa. Meanwhile, that man's free to walk around without a burqa.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your entire argument is that feminism is needed in the first world, the Western world, and you use a picture of a woman being abused in the Middle East as evidence of that? Dipshit.
Now I know you and your ignorance want to believe that feminism hasn't accomplished much since then. It's super convenient for you to have your position, as hating feminism is a pretty popular thing right now, due to a lot of people online having an incredibly uneducated perspective on feminism.
No, I think feminism has actually accomplished a lot, particularly in the 60s and 70s, but that's not the point. The point is that it's accomplished what it's accomplished and it's time to hang it up. When microaggressions and manspreading become the main focus of feminism, I think it's time to let it go.
Thanks to feminism in 2016, women were finally allowed to have any job in the military.
I mean, that's cool and all, but that's actually not the result of third wave feminism. That's the result of living in a secular society which generally believes in equality. 82% of Americans do not identify as feminists, and you'd have a pretty hard time explaining to me how the same society that allows women to have any job in the military that they want is somehow also sexist, also misogynistic, and also is opposed to women's rights. So of course that means my point still stands that feminism is not synonymous with women's rights, feminism is not synonymous with equality, and you don't have to be a feminist to believe in those things.
Even still today, women are struggling with having rights to their own body. As for some crazy reason, some people seem to believe that even when a woman is raped, she is not allowed to abort the baby. You, the person who's clearly battling against feminism, could very well be raped. And on top of that, if you got pregnant, in a society without feminism, you would be forced to have that baby.
Oh really? Would I be forced to get pregnant, Onision? What was that one thing you said earlier?
Maybe do more research in the future so you don't appear so ignorant.
It's funnier if we don't tell him.
Now, I'm only 2 minutes into your video, but I am going to go ahead and stop because I'd like to spend time with my family at some point today.
Okay, so in conclusion, you responded to only 2 minutes of the video that I made. You responded to almost none of my points. You instead tried to debunk jokes. But then again, I guess that's all your audience of 12-year-olds can handle. So once again, Onision, I'm gonna have to say, fuck off.